Sussexes slammed for sneaking onto commercial plane back home to LA after private jet criticism. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were spotted sneaking onto a commercial flight back home to Los Angeles after copping criticism for using a private jet amid their activism on climate change. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex were reportedly seen by a fellow passenger boarding a flight from New York after spending 3 days in the Big Apple for Veterans Day, the Mail Online reports. A passenger claiming to be on the 5-hour flight said the ex-working royals were snuck into the last 2 seats while the flight was held up for 20 minutes. The passenger wrote on social media, "Okay, this might sound unbelievable and I couldn't get a good picture and I get sick. You can say this could literally be anyone, but Prince Harry and Meghan were on our flight to LA last night. We were held up for about 20 minutes from our departure time and they were snuck into the last 2 seats. We didn't even know until a girl waiting to get off the plane next to us pointed them out. I couldn't get my phone out fast enough but it was them. They were quickly whisked away and we were in shock that we were so close and breathing the same air as our beloved royals." The Duke and Duchess found themselves in hot water earlier this year for spreading the word about claiming change while using private planes to jet around the globe. In September the couple appeared at a gig in New York calling for action on climate change before later using a private jet to return home to their £11 million home in California. Former Government Minister Norman Baker, 64, told Newsweek, "It's completely hypocritical for Prince Harry or other members of the royal family to lecture people about climate change when they're emitting more carbon than almost everyone else on the planet. People using private jets are in the top 1% of carbon emitters in the world. Prince Harry needs to stop using private jets, or if he wants to use private jets, he needs to stop lecturing people on climate change. It is not particularly challenging to get a flight from New York to California, people do it all the time." His criticism came after the couple reportedly used 21 private jets in 2 years. Most famously, the Duke and Duchess were blasted for boarding a private plane in 2019 to Elton John's French Riviera property. The honky cat singer defended Meghan and Harry and claimed he had provided the jet to maintain a high level of much-needed protection. Andrew Murphy, aviation director at T&E, said alongside a damning report into the aviation industry earlier this year, "Flying on a private jet is probably the worst thing you can do for the environment. And yet, super-rich super polluters are flying around like there's no climate crisis." In an interview for the Water Bear Network, the Duke of Sussex said fatherhood was the main motivation behind his interest in combating climate change. "The moment you become a father, everything really does change. You start to realize, what is the point of bringing a new person into this world, if they get to your age and it's on fire?" he said. "We can't steal their future. I've always believed that, hopefully, we can leave the world in a better place than when we found it. We really need to take a moment and think, how do we get what we need and have our desire fulfilled without taking from our children and generations to come?" Experts recently unearthed the chaotic reactions Meghan Markle inspired after news of her relationship with Prince Harry came to light. Royal commentator Camilla Tominey took this trip down memory lane and recalled, "I wasn't familiar with her name. I don't think anyone was at the time, to be perfectly honest, unless they had watched Suits, the legal drama she had been starring in. But that's a cable show, it's kind of a bit niche. We kept it so tight. It was me, my editor, the deputy editor, my news editor who were the only people who knew about the story." Before concluding she added, "It didn't appear in any news list until it was on the page ready for production. I was watching my son Harry play football and all hell broke loose around the rest of Fleet Street.